Today. It's great seeing some of your faces. Looks like Carson's doing too much thinking. But other than that, I'm grateful to have this opportunity to visit with you on our 444 meeting. The agendas we'll go through. Today will be, we have one new faculty introduction that Dr. Reeder will be doing for us. We have a new employee introduction that I'll be doing. We have our AR award winner that Sherry Clark, Dr. Clark, will be awarding. Then Tanya will do her roll call, and then we'll have some in service to speak about some of the things that we're working on. We're moving to the Gale Library from EBSCO host. There's a few other housekeeping things I want to go over with you. And then we're going to be getting into our career readiness. And finally, the page-based courses.
Yes. You're fine.
So,
You're on mute, right?
no, she's not.
Yeah, please mute your phones.
So that's what our agenda is today. So without any further ado, Dr. Reeder, would you go ahead and do our new faculty introduction?
Yes, hello. Wanted to just introduce Lonnie Richards. He's been just started this first term with us, and he's been a PAC member for a little over a year, so he's brought some great insight into our meetings there, and appreciate what he's bringing to our classes so far. So Lonnie Jacobs, do you want to tell a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So yeah, super excited to be here. I'm Lonnie Jacobs Jr. I did my undergrad at Grambling State University. I have 2 graduate degrees in education and business administration as well too. Presently right now I work for Verizon Communications as a corporate buyer, and just real super excited to be back in education again. So loving it. Absolutely. Glad to be on board.
Well, welcome aboard, Lonnie. It's a great seeing you on the broadcast, and looking forward to your good work. So welcome aboard.
Thank you.
All right. The next piece is to go over our new employee introduction. I want to introduce Dr. Ann Larson to everybody. She's on the call, but she lives up in South Dakota, and she's experiencing blizzard conditions, so she's not going to be speaking on this call. But let me just give you a little bit of a background with her. She'll be our new director of curriculum. She's had over 10 years of higher ed experience, specifically in administration of online programs, including curriculum design and faculty development. A lot of that was student service support. She recently was with National American University in a variety of roles, from Executive Vice President of Online Academic Operations to Dean of Academic Affairs. She has her EDD in higher education from the University of South Dakota. She started back on April 1st. She's hit the ground running. There's a number of new programs that she's been working on in conjunction with faculty and myself. So we're looking forward to Ann having a big impact on what we do here at Vista College. So once she has an opportunity, hopefully next week or whenever we visit again, she'll be reaching out to some of you to talk about new program development or revising curriculum in your particular silos. So we're excited to have Ann on board, and hopefully she's still got power at her house. All right. With that, I think the next thing on our agenda is the AR award. Dr. Clark, would you take that over for us, please?
I absolutely would. As you know, the AR award is our award for the instructor that's just gone a little above and beyond this term. You've all done a great job, but this is the person who's really stood out. And this term, it was Lisa Banks. She has done a fantastic job. She has stepped up and offered assistance in some curriculum development with the math class, and she's offered to teach 2 sections of the math class, and I can't tell you how difficult that is. Lisa, we really appreciate, and your outreach has been incredible with your students. Really appreciate everything you've done every month and this month in particular.
Congratulations, Lisa. All right. So, Tanya, are you going to take roll call now, or you want to wait a bit? You tell me.
Sure, I can go ahead and take roll.
All right.
If I call your name, please let me know that you're here. If I don't call your name, it's probably because I see your name when you logged into Zoom. So if I do call your name, please let me know. Amanda Hardwick. Angela Hammond. Ashley Robinson.
I'm here. Angela's here.
Who is that? Who just said they were here?
Angela Hammond.
Oh, thank you, Angela. Ashley Robinson. Audra Stinson. Cassandra McDade. Corey Ellis.
I'm here.
Thank you, Corey. David Powell. Aaron Etherington. Gina Sanchez. Jerry Gordon. Jenna Powell.
Here.
Thanks, Jenna. Mary Alex. Nathan Mitchell said he might not be able to make it. Neil Salyer. Ryan Sharp. Sabrina Delonzo.
I'm here.
Thanks. Sandy McDonald. Sandy, did you say you were here? And Trudy Thomas. Okay, thanks, Art. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Tanya. Again, if Tanya can see your name or can see that your picture, she doesn't need to ask you if you're here for the meeting. It's just the ones that she can't. So those are the only ones that we're actually calling roll on. Everyone else, we already have your attendance recorded. So thank you very much for that. Thank you, Tanya.
Hi,
all right.
This is Lisa. Can
Yes,
I
please.
just say one thing? I'm sorry. This is Lisa Banks, and I could not get my phone to work to say thank you. Tell Sherry thanks. I'm sorry. I couldn't say because my computer wouldn't work, but I'm up and running again, and thank you very much.
All right, Lisa, I appreciate you saying that. And again, we're appreciative of your good work. So thank you very much. Okay, a couple of housekeeping items. First of all, I know that we've been talking about video in the classroom. I just wanted to reemphasize that with you as you teach your courses. It's great when you have a video in the welcome introduction. It's great if you can start off your DQs, your discussion questions for the week with a video. It's relatively simple to drop those in. We recommend that you do that. It's a nice enhancement. Our students really do like it, and they feel better connected to you when you do so. So make an effort to get that into your classrooms as you're teaching for us. The second piece is making sure also that you update your grade books. It's very easy not to put zeros in from week to week, and it makes it difficult for us to track how well the students are actually doing in the class. It's difficult for the students to know how well they're doing in the class. So it can give them the false impression because you haven't put all the zeros in if they haven't handed in an assignment or they haven't done their DQs for the week, that they're actually doing much better grade-wise than they actually are. So again, if you'd make the extra effort to make sure that your grade books are up to date week by week, that would be greatly appreciated. both by our staff and also our students. All right. The next item is the Gale Library. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Gale. It's a Cengage product. It's going to be replacing our EBSCOhost. Why? Well, EBSCOhost has been the king for a very long time. But we believe that Gale is a much better student user-friendly experience. It functions a lot more like Google, so our students can figure out how to get through it. It searches across databases where EBSCOhost had a tendency to do it across a select database. So we're planning on moving that over. We'll probably parallel run them for a while, but we've signed the agreement with Gale. EBSCOhost turns off in June. So we've got Carson and Kimberly working to make sure the classes, making sure that our resource pages speak to Gale, or at least I think we're going to just go with online library instead of putting in a specific title for it, whether it be Gale or EBSCOhost. But I wanted to let you know we are moving to Gale. So that you'd be a little bit more familiar with what that looks like. I've asked Carson to tee up a video and also a presentation on Gale. Without any further ado, Carson, will you go ahead and start us off there?
All right, thanks, Lars. Hi, everybody. Yeah, what we'll do first is, this is just a short video. It's about 56 seconds long and all. It kind of gives you a 10,000-foot view of Gale and the quality of their material. And then what we'll do is we'll then jump into a test course, and we'll actually look at a live demo of how Gale integrates into Canvas, both from instructor and student facing. But it's a pretty fun product, easy to use, and should make things pretty engaging. All right, so without further ado, I'll go ahead and share this video. Okay. What we'll take a look at now is actually how it punches within Canvas. So we were looking at more of the web-based version of how you navigate through. The Canvas integration is a little bit different. So what we'll do is we'll kind of take a look at that. So this is a test course that we've integrated Gale Online Library with. Now there are a couple of different locations where this information is. Number one is it will live over here in the left navigation area. Right now, this is the title of that link, but we can customize and tell us whatever we want. Like Art mentioned, the online library will more than likely be called. Now, from this point of view here, it is both instructor and student facing. So you can select this particular link here, and what it does is one thing that's really nice is the library actually pulls up in line with Canvas, so it doesn't open up in another page. It's actually in line, which is really nice. What you do at that point is you can select for this particular thing, this particular library that we're looking at. We can go ahead and look at browsing issues. When you select that, it gives you a huge list or a library really of different issues. And it also indicates whether something's been updated or not. So, for example, if we go ahead and take a look at Facebook, That's definitely an issue. We can actually then go to the Facebook content. So as we see over here on the right, we can see how many videos there are, how many images, so on and so forth, audio, magazine articles, news articles, I mean, just a lot of information. That information also shows here at the bottom. So as you're going through, again, this is both facing you and facing the student. So if there was a particular video or article that the individual wanted to read, this is kind of how they would navigate. So for example, if I go to videos, I can see and grab, watch, read, whatever it is that I want to. It'll load up and then I can watch it.
So this was a major breach of trust.
Also, what's really nice for ADA compliance, you've got everything's transcripted as well. So that's also very nice. So that is a quick way to jump into the library to search for something that you need to. And of course, you can type in whatever you want to search above. But right here on the left navigation area. Okay. Now here's there's a second place where this lives as well. This was the part I was very excited about. If we go into any item that has the rich content editor, that means anything with a page, any discussion question, quiz, even specific quiz questions and assignments have the rich content editor. So we're going to go into this test discussion question. So as the instructor, if I found something very interesting I wanted to share, I can embed any of that content right into the discussion itself. So for example, I would select reply, and then right here, this little V icon, this is where all of our external tools are. You would select that, and then you would click on, in this case, opposing viewpoints in context. However, when we rename that to online library, that's where it will read it as online library. So we would select that. And again, it's going to take us to that same view that we were looking at earlier. And again, we would go to your browse issue, or we could type in a search item. We could go back to Facebook for this particular example anyway. And now what we have here is, I'll go back to videos. The video. And again, it can be any of the items, periodicals, whatever. But now what we have, now that we're in the rich content editors, we can now link to these documents and even embed this content within this discussion question activity. So I'm going to go ahead and select embed. Now, just so you know, this is also instructor and student facing, so they can do this too. They can share periodicals, they can choose to embed, or they can just choose to share the link. You can do that as well. And then you can post the reply. Yeah, and there it is. But again, this goes both ways. So the students can also share this information as well and reply and share links to other articles that may support the discussion. So I can see this being very engaging, increasing engagement. But again, just to recap, again, the rich content editor, anything that has a rich content editor, which is anything gradable, plus finish pages that you can share information on. And again, on the left navigation list here. So that is where the online library via Gale will live in those two areas. So pretty exciting, really great product. We're still working out some details, but this at least is the functionality of how it will work and how it will. Back to you, Art.
Thank you, Carson. Thanks for the demonstration. So what's your sense for when this will go live?
Well, we have a couple things to work out with our Cengage contact, looking at combining some of the library resources into one bucket. So once we get that figured out, which I'm hoping is tomorrow, making that live is very simple. I mean, technically, it's ready to go now. We just have to connect one other thing, as far as combining some of these library. They have several different databases, that they pull from, and they tend to name them differently. So what we're trying to do is just combine them all into one. Technically, we could use it right now if we wanted to, but I'm hopeful that by early next week, tomorrow would be great if they can get back with us with that news. Otherwise, I'm thinking sometime early next week.
Okay. So I think it's safe to say we'll probably have it be available for our next term start on April 22nd. That's what we'll be working towards. And Carson has been working pretty feverishly to get this up and going along with Kimberly. So there are a number of little pieces to get squared away, as you can see. But we do believe that's a very significant upgrade, especially for our career college students that aren't really big-time researchers. It's just a much easier thing to navigate through. And we're hopeful as well that you'll use more of the videos for content as you're instructing in the class. So we're excited about it. When we wanted to make sure you had a preview of it before we actually put it in the class and sent an announcement out to you about it. So any questions at this point in time, or are you good with what we've got? Well, it looks like Mark's okay. So based on that, let's move over to the Career Readiness Initiative. I've asked Kimberly to put some of this together for us so you can actually see what we're doing in the classroom, in your classroom. It's an exciting initiative. It's, again, what we talked about the last time we got together. It's all about making sure that the only good reason for anyone to be in our program is to be able to get a career, get a job when they're all said and done with our program. So over to you, Kimberly.
Thank you, Art. So I'm going to be talking about career readiness with the new course design because we're launching them together. So the last time we talked about career readiness, we talked about the purpose of career readiness, and Art just went over that. So this week I'm going to show you how we're implementing it into our new course design. Carson and I have been working on a new course design that's more streamlined and cleaner, more accessible for our students. Instead of clicking here and there, there's a one page for 1 week and one click for each activity. So let's take a look. This is our home page. The left navigation panel will stay the same with a couple of differences. We've added the jump to the week, and of course the online library would change. And then our career services, which is vital with the Career Readiness Initiative. This tab will launch you into a career readiness course, or launch the students into a career readiness course where they can self-enroll into that course. And then once they self-enroll, there's a bunch of tidbits in there about career readiness and graduation tidbits, resume tidbits, different things like that. I'm going to click on these and navigate through these in a minute. I want to show you the new buttons that we have at the bottom of our home page. Same as what we had before, but just a little snazzier, with the exception of we have some different landing pages that you will navigate to. So we still go to our instructor welcome, where you'll post your instructor welcome with your video. And then we have our course syllabus. And then we have our weekly assignments, and I'm going to show you navigate through this in a little bit. And then we've added also Vista policies and tech support. And we'll navigate through all of that here in a minute. So let's start with our syllabus. So in our course syllabus, it will remain the same. One of the things I'm neglected to mention early on is we've also started implementing icons. You will see a lot of icons in our new course design. The icons help us to generate visual interest and to communicate our ideas faster and to increase scannability on a page. So if a student is looking for a discussion, they'll look directly for our new icon, which is the discussion icon. Also our career readiness icon, which indicates our career readiness components in each class. So they'll be able to easily find each activity that directly relates to a career readiness strategy. Okay, so you'll find this in your syllabus, and then these icons are aligned throughout the course each week, and you'll see the repetitiveness in the icons, and they'll be able to find those each week. Okay, so this is the syllabus with the icons. Let's go back to the home page. Now the next thing is the jump to week. But before we go there, I want to talk to you, before we navigate further into the course, I want to talk to you about the modules tab. The modules tab will not be a live link at the top, but it will be available to you. The reason why we want this available to you is this will still house, of course, all of the other activities. This is where I can go in and make edits. But the important thing for you is that your course preview checklist will be here, and any instructor resources, answer keys or anything like that will be in this section. So I want to remind you, this is important, that when you get ready to do your course preview checklist or any instructor resources, they will be in this modules tab. Students will not be able to see the modules tab, but you will be able to. Now we can dive deeper. So if we jump to the week, you have your weekly page. You click on week 1, and here we are. Everything is on one page. You see our icons indicating our career readiness activities. Our PDs have gone through each of the courses on the syllabus and indicated each activity that is a career readiness component activity, and an objective. The objective is listed above here. And then you have your topics, and then you have your live links that go directly to each activity. And then once the student is complete with the weekly activities, they can go back to the home page, or they can click next to go to the next week. So let's click on the course activities. So the reading assignments, we no longer have we do have the Vista College bookshelf, but it's in the module section. However, students will be able to click directly from their reading assignment to the bookshelf to get their book. There we go. And then they have their reading assignment here. Once they've completed the reading assignment, they can still navigate to their discussion board with the next button. They can go back to the home area, or they can go back to week 1. And they can click on their discussion. Now here's the question for the career readiness. What do you think a normal workday in your job of choice will consist of? You have the icon that indicates indicates that it's a career readiness objective assignment, and then the students will engage. This will be a fun part where, thinking about what Carson just presented, this would be a fun part where students could go into the Gale Library and maybe look up research their career that they want to go into, find a video or an article about that, and post it here. This is something you might want to promote in the class as you guys are teaching and going throughout the discussion boards. Then they can navigate back to week 1, or of course they can go back to assignment 1 or back to the home page. Then you can go to the assignment 1, And the same thing, you have the same icons, everything is unified and aligned. Now, in our evidence-based courses, we also have lessons or lecture material. We have icons for that. We have our learning assessments and our virtual instructor course meetings. And those also have their own icons, and you'll see those indicated, and they're built the same way. Okay. So then they can progress to the next week, and here you have your weekly build. Now on this page, there isn't any career readiness build. It's just your typical assignments or your content assignments. Again, you have your reading assignment. Here's your discussion icon, and then your assignment icon. For the discussion, you have your discussion disclaimer each week, but not the actual question. But for students who, I've always gotten questions like, can I work ahead? Well, on their assignments, they can work ahead. They can read the question and do their assignment and save it to post later. Okay? So they have a preview of that in this section. And then they can go back to week 1, or they can advance to week 3. Now, note, when you're doing your course preview checklist, it's going to be important, especially since this is new and this is a new design, it's going to be important that you check each link. That means checking all of the icons, all of the symbols, making sure everything navigates to the correct page, and all the links are working properly. And we have our end of term survey. It takes you there. Okay. So that's the setup for the weeks. Now let's go back and look at that home page again, because there were a few more things that I wanted to navigate through and show you. So again, this takes you to the weekly assignments, to that weekly assignment page. And then here's our Vista College policies. Again, you see the icons that we're identifying for students. The important policies here are the ones that, I shouldn't say they're important, they're all important, but the ones that pertain to our course directly, the attendance policy, the late work policy, and the plagiarism policy, right? And then we have tech support. We always need tech support. So for our tech support, you have Carson and myself, and then anything Canvas related, students will submit a ticket in the help button on the left-hand side. Yeah. I might need to put a screenshot there. And then related to the evidence-based courses, you have the learning assessments and the ExamSoft number. Most of the time, Carson and I can handle the ExamSoft issues, but just in case, the number is there. Okay. And then I wanted to go back to the career services. I didn't click on this at first because it takes us out of the course actually into, and you have to actually self-enroll in this course. So here's our new career services. And this is where students will be able to ask questions. They can engage in discussions with the career services team. There's certain different events that will be housed here. I don't think we have anything here yet. There's different certification information. This is really exciting because we've partnered with Career Services to make everything career focused in our courses, including being able to go and ask them questions, work on their mock interviews in their career strategies course, complete their resumes, get feedback on their resumes from Career Services. Anything that has the career readiness icon, as I showed you before, gears them towards those questions or drives them towards those questions and drives them towards Career Services where they can ask more questions or get more details on how to be prepared for their new careers. Sorry guys, that doesn't have a link back to my course. So that's our career readiness and our new course design. It's called the page-based course design. Also I forgot to mention this, on the home page to go into the course again, you can also go into week 1 from the next button and keep advancing. Any questions, guys? Art?
Yeah, I'm curious on some feedback on the page-based course design versus the design we've had in the past, and whether you think it'll be easier for students to navigate from week to week. What are your thoughts? A silent faculty. No one's got any comments.
We've given them a lot of information.
Hi, this is Mary. Mary Alex. I think that it will be easier. However, I do have some concern about them having the ability to work ahead, because sometimes it will give the false impression that they're actively participating. So will we still put in the active dates?
Yes, you will still set the dates.
Okay.
They can work ahead, but they will not be able to post until that week is open.
Okay.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
We do have some students who are proactive and say, "Can I work ahead?" Well, they can look at the syllabus and see those assignments.
Okay.
So it's okay for them to do that. They just can't post it until the week opens.
Okay. Thanks, Kim.
Excellent question, Mary. Anybody else?
Jenny Marks posted that it does seem like it'll be more organized by each week for students rather than having all modules on the same page.
Thanks,
Okay,
Tom.
thank you.
One thing, I'll speak up here just for a moment, just to reiterate what Kimberly mentioned earlier. When you're going through your checklist, it is really going to be vital to check. And you can do that actually fairly quickly, just by simply right-clicking on each one and opening in a new window. You can open up several windows, check each other, make sure they're linking properly. As you do that, but sometimes links have tendencies to break, so very, very important they can double check.
This is Kathy. I have a quick question about the tech support. Is it possible to either list your specific hours and days, or just have students have the ability to submit like a ticket and then whoever is available at that time respond? Because I know I've had a few students recently, particularly on Sundays, who contact me, you know, and I refer them to one of you, and then they write back, oh, well, I can't get them. So then it's into Monday, and then they're concerned that their assignment's going to be late. So I didn't know if the two of you split hours or days in some way that, you know, that can be posted for students.
Question, Kathy. The help button that Kimberly pointed out earlier on the left, that's a good way where they can actually report the issue there or submit a ticket. There it is. As far as available office hours, for me personally, and I know we're still kind of, you know, there's Kimberly and myself for the most part. For me personally, if there's an emergency, if the individual has an emergency, with me personally, if they or the instructor can text me, because I'm not always home in front of my email, and it's just easier to text me or call me straight out, you know, just contact me that way. I can make myself available. That's just me personally. And maybe we can change the verbiage up, you know, to reflect that.
And that's the same for me. The numbers that are listed there are my cell phone numbers. I do typically answer, or it's better to text me than to call me.
Okay, so is it possible maybe to list that, your preferred method of contact, so that students might know, so that they're not emailing and waiting hours for a response? And, you know, I understand that you guys can't be available 24/7, but then they would be more aware what might be the best method of contact.
Sure, yes, we can do that. But there aren't any like specific hours, just to answer that part of the question.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your question, Kathy. Great. Anybody else? Any other questions, comments? Either with the page-based course design or the career readiness initiative?
Hey, Art, it's Lydia. I'm not faculty, but I do have a kind of concern. Are we presenting this to students, or are we just kind of dumping it in courses and saying go? Because I feel like this is going to cause a heck of a lot of confusion.
Well, first of all, yes, there is a plan to roll it out. I forgot to mention that too. The new course design will not launch until May, the May term. And Carson is putting together one of his fancy videos for students. We do plan on making an announcement this month about our new course design, and then moving from there. If you have any other suggestions, we'd appreciate those too.
Awesome. Just involve me in that rollout so that I'm prepared when students are like, what the heck is this? Because they will call me and ask me those questions, and I want to be able to like speak to that.
Yes, most definitely.
Thanks.
Thank you, Lydia. Yeah, so again, the plan is to preview it with you folks so you know what's coming. We will have a video set up, and we'll make an announcement when we're moving to this design. This is one that's highly recommended through Canvas, who's dealing with a lot of schools within our system, with the idea that it's actually easier for them to navigate from week to week. So that's the thought process on that. James, did you have a question? Perhaps not. Any other thoughts?
It's Ann Larson.
Yes, Ann. Oh, hi, Ann.
Yeah. Hey there. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Thank you. Good. Thank you for the nice introduction. I'm not into the Zoom, so I didn't see the presentation, but I had a chance to review the page-based course, but not have time to circle back with Kimberly. And maybe it's just my resolution on my computer screen, but generally having to reduce the need for students to scroll or have multiple clicks. So in my view, the icons for the syllabus or the weekly learning plans, I have to scroll below the imagery to see that. So I don't know if we want to look at reducing the imagery to a certain size so that always visible when the student logs into the course are those icons.
Okay. We can look at that, Ann.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Yep.
Any other feedback, thoughts? Any questions about career readiness?
Well, someone has a,
I'm sorry.
oh, how about posting the 3 months? You can still do that. Just remember, Charlotte, that it will push the information on the page down. But yes, you can still post your 3 most recent announcements on the page, on the home page.
Okay, so you're looking at the Zoom chat?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Hold on, there's another one.
Any other thoughts or comments in regards to career readiness, page-based course design? Thank you for your feedback so far. Anything else?
And guys, we're open to suggestions or any comments later on. If you think about something, please do not hesitate to contact Carson or myself.
And so also, you may have noticed on the career readiness icons that we don't have them in every single DQ or every single assignment. That's intentional. Again, it's to remind the student that they're in class for a career. We wanted to have a special emphasis on those particular DQs and questions as a result. So that's the reason it's set up that way. I should say assignments. So, anything else that we need to visit with as a group? All right, then I'm going to give you back 10 minutes of your time. We appreciate your being here on this call. We appreciate your good work with our students. Again, welcome out Lonnie Jacobs is one of our new faculty members. We're excited to have Dr. Ann Larson on board with us to help us manage our curriculum, and she'll be involved in a lot of other projects along with that. Again, congratulations to our AR award winner, Lisa Banks. Again, we'll have proper notification out for the Gale Library as we get that rolled out, our Career Readiness Initiative, and our page-based course design. Have the rest of a good day and good evening. And again, appreciate all your good work. Have a good evening. Bye now.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.